Welcome to Bullshit TV. I am your host, and today is not bullshit until I hear something further. And as a protection of my own, I am not a lawyer. I haven't been to a seminar, haven't failed out of class, but I just use common sense to determine what I think the law is being stated and all that good shit. But today's segment is actually good news. It is the possible, um, the Tulsa, Oklahoma Tulsa race riot. Um, I believe last summer or the summer before that, um, it was a documentary that was released from the 1921 race riot. Um, that wasn't just the only riot. I wouldn't even really say riot because it wasn't a riot between the two races, the black people and the white people. It was a just all right massacre, a killing, if you will. Just a destruction of shit. But anyway, I want to say in the past year that a documentary came out with the 1921 Tulsa killing. Basically, it was the destruction of the Black Wall Street down in Tulsa. Tulsa was a very prosperous community with black folks. Um, Black folks will go to work with the whites, and then they'll take their money back to their neighborhood and put it back into their communities. So the Black Wall Street was basically it wasn't like rich or whatever, but I believe if this event hasn't happened, that they would be very, very rich. But basically, I'm gonna try to make this as quick as I can. But basically, the riot happened. Um, the Tulsa Wall Street had um, two newspaper buildings there for their news, and they had churches, schools, and all of this. And then they had the only, and I want y'all to know, the only hotel that was like very, very prestige, because it had its own ballroom, um, not just a regular hotel, but it was like something like today's Trump Towers. So during this event, it was black guy that supposedly inappropriately had touched a white woman and all of this shit. The white woman to this day has not been heard from, and I don't really know what happened to the guy that caused this issue. So as in my community, we call bullshit because nothing happened to that white girl, but the white girl uh, telling false lies caused this riot. So the white people went out there and tore everything up to pieces. Basically, they burnt everything down to the ground. And I'm not over exaggerating this. You can look it up for yourself. The Tulsa Riot Massacre burned everything down to the ground, killed so many people. I mean, it was so bad that they had airplanes, 1921. So we talking 1921. They had airplanes with these little canisters that had fire lit on both ends, and in the canister was gasoline. So when they would drop these canisters onto people's houses, it was just spreading. It was literally, that was the first time that the army have used their military weapons against anyone. And it was from the people of this country, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Um, you can look this shit up. But as of right now, I believe I started to get wind of it a little last week, so I just gave it a little more time to see. But sure as hell, it's true. So I'm not. I don't get into this back and forth news stations, Fox News, CNN lies, and all this shit. If I hear it on whatever news station, I'm gonna go do my own investigation look at other sources to see what's going on. But anyway, they're speaking of talking about giving reparations back to these people. And people say it was so long ago, slavery, but slavery is over, but we still being impacted by the injustice of the racist people. So this is 1921, and these people are 100 years old. Over 100 years old. The youngest survivor of this massacre is 101. The other three is like 103, 107. And now they're talking under the Biden administration, Black people. This is under the Biden administration. That they want to take this to trial so they can get monetary back pay for what happened. Because we all know that hotel that they had, the only hotel, because white folks was coming out there too, having a good time, drinking their drinks and booking rooms and all of this shit. So this is the biggest, nicest hotel in the United States at this time. So whoever came after them, you stole it because of the one that y'all burned down. So can you imagine that being the original Trump Tower, bringing in 500 million, 500 billion, whatever the hell? You get what I'm trying to say? And I'm talking to white people too, not just Black folks, Mexicans too. You know what I'm saying? They took that all away. So they finally taking this shit to trial because they saying that it was wrong. Y'all acknowledging the state of Oklahoma and the city of Tulsa has recognized what happened. This was not a race riot. Wasn't like a race war. Black people wasn't liking white folks, and white folks wanted, so they decided to fight. No, something happened. We don't even know what happened, but just know when the guy went to jail, they released him. The sheriff released him himself. So I believe he released him because he didn't have evidence or so. Since the sheriff released him, the white man out there, they had a fucking tangent because they wanted to do whatever the fuck they wanted to do because off of the story of this white woman. And like I said, till this day, we don't know what really happened because she went AWOL. We don't know what happened to her. But so what does this possibly mean if we can get this trial heard in the Supreme Court? This motion is happening in the Supreme Court, and this could mean reparations for Black folks across the country that is due, because this is not, like I said at the beginning of this segment, this is not the only type of massacre that happened in the U.S. history. So along with this massacre, these people also made homemade graves. You know what I'm saying? Just made a big ass hole in the ground and dumped the dead bodies in there. Just imagine that shit for a second. And these bodies that they have exhumed from these mass graves, supposedly, because all this was alleged until literally the past 5 years. Those bodies was exhumed. They was unmarked graves, and they sitting in the Smithsonian. And the Smithsonian is where they look into like just the bones. Even though they're dead, they don't have flesh and all this shit. They can still look at the bones to see to try to determine the cause of death. So that might take 2-3 years because it's so many bodies. You know what I'm saying? Then you gotta see if it's enough tissue to find DNA so you can get other family members involved. Because like I said, it's a possibility that these people are getting reparations for the destruction of what that city and that state allowed them to do. Even they should be getting reparations from everybody, from the military, all that shit, because the military had their hand into this too. The police officers was out there, had their hand in this too, destroying and killing these people's community. And then y'all want to say that Black people are lazy because y'all keep doing shit like this. So this is a step forward, because this isn't the first time that something like this was trying to get on the ballot to be heard on the court of law. And all the ex-presidents, even Obama, he's in there too. But we all know what happened with that, with the Republicans just shutting out everything that he tried to do for his community. But this is all it'll start. Um, if Tulsa gets reparations or even get this heard, even if it don't get nothing, at least it got tried. You know what I'm saying? And it's giving us hope. That's all I need. I need hope, but we also do need results from this, because Black folks are so far back in the economic system because of y'all doings. Y'all did this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about y'all in the today generation, but you can still have racist tendencies. You know what I'm saying? It's from your ancestors. Your ancestors did this. They didn't speak about this for over 100 years. They cover this up. They killed all these people. And I'm not just talking about 10, 20 people. No, they done killed hundreds of people and children. And then just threw their bodies in the ground like it was a dead dog. Like this shit happened. And now it's being recognized that it has happened. That's why these Republicans want to sit out here and throw away the critical race theory, because if people start to study critical race theory, they're going to see some of the actions that they have done, and now in the present and in the past. Because this event right here fits into the critical race theory that they don't want you studying about. If these motherfucking, I'm not just saying every Black person in the world, whoever had a grandmother, grandfather, great aunt, whatever, that was killed, that owned a business, that owned a school, because Tulsa had everything. It had numerous schools, had numerous churches, had numerous places where they can sit down and eat. And it had nice homes. I'm not saying it was rich, but it was they shit. So think about the people that's alive today. You know what I'm saying? And everyone wasn't killed in the Tulsa massacre. Some was able to flee and maybe to the border and states, maybe further up into New York. So those people that actually, they ancestors had properties and businesses that was literally burnt to ash. I'm not joking about this. If they was able to contain these things, they could be a lot further in life. They wouldn't be out here with just a fucking community college degree. No knock on community college, but I'm just saying, because they have the money, they got the wealth, they have a home, you know, they can pass down. Y'all get what I'm saying? This is why they don't want you to study critical race theory, because that system. And then some of these people, individuals, well, there ain't even some, not one of these people that had their home wrongfully burned down to the ground. The people that had insurance on their homes couldn't even get the insurance money, because they said it had a clause in the insurance policy where they couldn't collect money of destruction of property if it was considered a riot. The white people called it a riot. No, y'all went in there on some bullshit and burnt people. That was terrorism. That's all that was. Terrorism on a Black community. Everybody was Black there. So that was straight up terrorism on U.S. soil by white folks. So that's all I wanted to say. But that's all I know right now. I'm not saying that it set a trial date to take it to trial, but it's being considered. It's been brought into the front of the Supreme Court, I want to say in the past week, because like I said, it just popped up on my end, and I was just seeing how long, and I woke up this morning, and that's what they was talking about. So I just wanted y'all to know that that's what was going on. And if y'all got anything y'all want to add, y'all can go ahead and put it down in the comment section, and we can keep this thing rolling and we just see what's going on. Because like I said, even if we can just get this in court and get it heard, because I'm pretty sure we can have evidence and all of this type of stuff, this can possibly give us reparations for slavery and the other massacres that happened. Because this is not the only one, because we have one in Greenwood. That's just some of them. If you really care, look up the Greenwood massacre, and you will see that it's a pattern of what's going on. Just Black folks doing Black folk shit, and they coming fucking with us for no fucking reason and taking everything we got. So, and it's still continuing on today. So that's all I got to say. And go ahead and smash that like button and do what y'all do. Have a great day.